Is there a world where Joe Shane could come out of the 2025 NFL Draft with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders? We're going to react to those rumors coming out of the Combine here on today's show. But if you want that to happen, if you want to see the Heisman Trophy winner and Shedeur Sanders on the New York Football Giants next year, let me know by going down and hitting that thumbs up icon right now. What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. Is it a possibility that Joe Shane could draft Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter? Trevor Sikkema of Pro Football Focus, their lead NFL draft analyst, he put out his post-combine mock draft, and he said this: attending the scouting combine isn't just about what you see. It's also about what you hear. Here's my latest what I think will happen post-combine mock draft for PFF. Also adding, with the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine wrapped up, mock drafts are now less about what the author would do and more about what 2025 NFL draft predictions. From everything I saw and heard at the Combine, here are my early thoughts on what teams will do on draft weekend. And he starts with this. With the third overall pick, he has the New York Football Giants selecting the Heisman Trophy winner, the corner, the wide receiver, Mr. Do-It-All, Travis Hunter. And this is a pick that I would be very excited about if the draft board fell a certain way. I love Travis Hunter as a player. I thought that his combine presser was really impressive. He measured it at 6 foot and 3/8 of an inch, so almost 6'1", 188 pounds, and 21 years old. Awesome last year. 92 receptions, 1,152 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 11 pass breakups. Sikkema wrote this about the New York Giants. I'll be honest, I think the Giants are in a tough spot. They brought back their head coach and general manager, both on the hot seat, with the understanding that 2025 must be better despite not having a QB. That makes me think they will do everything they can to acquire a proven veteran quarterback, especially after reportedly swinging and missing on Matthew Stafford. There are rumors of New York trading up to number 1 overall for its preferred quarterback. I assume it's Cam Ward, but I'll leave that scenario for another mock. Instead, I could see them drafting the best football player in the class, Travis Hunter, and being very happy about what he and Malik Neighbors can do for them for years to come. In the mock draft, Trevor Sikkema had Cam Ward going number 2 overall to the Cleveland Browns, and he had Abdul going number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. So the New York Giants could have selected Shedeur Sanders number 3 overall in his mock, but he decided to go with Travis Hunter. And I don't mind him, or I'm not upset about that pick whatsoever. Travis Hunter is number 1 on my big board. He's the best player in this class, in my opinion. I do think I would pick, and I would pick Cam Ward over a guy like Travis Hunter just because the New York Giants need a quarterback. But when you strictly talk about being great football players and who in this class is most likely to be wearing a gold jacket one day and go have a golden bust outside of Canton, Ohio, I think it's Travis Hunter. I think he's the best wide receiver in this class. He showed it on tape. My NFL comp for him on the wide receiver, on the offense side of the ball, is Odell Beckham Jr. His ability to start and stop, play bigger than his size, make contested catch, and making the plays that matter when they need to be made. His ability and an act to make the big-time play when he needs to is unreal. 15 touchdowns last year. He was awesome on defense as well. I see Trayvon Diggs in his game on the defensive side of the floor. He possesses those wide receiver ball skills, maybe the best ball skills of anybody I've been scouting since I started doing this for Chat Sports back in the 2021 NFL Draft. He was awesome. 4 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, a PFF coverage grade of 90.7, allowed just 1 touchdown, and only 212 yards receiving that were caught on him. So how does Shedeur Sanders factor in here? Because we saw Travis Hunter go number 3 overall, and the first 2 picks were Abdul and Cam Ward. So how did the Giants end up drafting Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders? Well, in this PFF mock draft from Trevor Sikkema, he did not have Shedeur Sanders go in the first round. He thinks that Sanders could slide all the way to round 2. And if that happens, the Giants should be doing everything it takes to go and select him. The Browns do have the number 1 pick in round 2. But the Browns also selected Cam Ward in this mock draft. And if the Browns select Cam Ward number 2 overall, they're not going to draft a quarterback with the 33rd pick in the draft. The Giants may have to trade up one spot to do so, because I believe there will be other teams out there that see Shedeur Sanders falling to the 33rd overall pick, and they're going to try to trade up with the Cleveland Browns. So Joe Schoen would need to then call the Browns and do what it takes to go get him if Schoen thinks he is worth that 34th pick. And I think he is. I think he could be worth the number 3 pick if the draft board falls out a certain way. I don't know how possible this is, but I'm going off of this mock draft from him. I saw Trevor at the Combine. I know he was talking to a lot of people. He's got sources. Walking away with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders would be a home run selection, a home run draft for Joe Schoen. You get maybe the best player in the draft in Travis Hunter and maybe the best quarterback. I think he's QB2, but there is a world where he could end up being QB1. Let's talk about how likely this is. I went through his entire first-round mock draft, and I took a look at every quarterback-needy team, and here were the selections for those guys. Look, I think that number 6 is a spot that Shedeur could go to the Las Vegas Raiders. But he had Ashton Genty, the running back out of Boise, going there. The Jets, they need a quarterback, but he had Tyler Warren going there. The New Orleans Saints, they need a quarterback. He had Jalen Walker going there. I believe if Shedeur Sanders is on the clock at pick 18, that the Seattle Seahawks could pick him. But he ended up selecting Nick Amani-Warrior, maybe the biggest combine winner of them all this past weekend. Then Matthew Golden goes number 21 to the Steelers. I think the Steelers would take Shedeur if he was there. Sycamore disagrees. And then the Los Angeles Rams. I do think if Shedeur's on the clock, he could be that pick. But they selected Malachi Starks. I don't see Sanders sliding to round 2. From the people I talked to, from the things that I heard, it doesn't sound like he's going to slide out of round 2. And I don't necessarily think he's going to slide outside the top 10. I don't think he gets past the number 6 overall pick to the Las Vegas Raiders. But every single year, we say there is no way that guy falls here. There is no way that Brian Branch goes to the 2nd round in the NFL draft. There is no way Jalen Hyatt falls to the 3rd round. There's no way John Michael Schmitz makes the Giants in the 2nd round. Maybe those were good things that those did happen, or bad things that those did happen, I guess is the way you could say that. But we see it every year. Something happens that we all said, no way, no how. I was really impressed with Shedeur at the Combine. I was front row for his presser. It was the biggest presser out of anybody. I had more media members there. And he was cool, calm, collected, confident. He had swag. He was awesome. Charisma. He owned that press conference. I really do think that he doesn't get past number 6. I think the Raiders would pick Shedeur Sanders if he was on the board when they were on the clock. And to be honest with you, I would be fine with selecting Shedeur at 3. If Cam Ward is off the board and the Giants are on the clock at the 3rd pick, Shedeur Sanders is one of my top people that I would select with that pick. Travis Hunter goes 1 or Travis Hunter goes 2 and Cam Ward goes 1 or 2, I'm going to take Shedeur Sanders 3. If Abdul Carter goes 1 or 2 and Travis Hunter and Shedeur both there, then we have to have a conversation. We're going to talk more about Shedeur coming up in a second, but make sure you're ready to go for the 2025 season and you have your Malik Neighbors jersey ready to rock and roll. Chatsports.com/neighbors. That's chatsports.com/neighbors. Get your jersey today and be ready to rock and roll for the 2025 season. Maybe you'll see Malik Neighbors catching passes from Shedeur. Some scouting report stuff for Shedeur. My favorite thing about him, his ability to be cool and calm inside the pocket. When there are bullets flying everywhere, when it's a muddy pocket, he's able to operate in that better than I think anyone in this class. And he is tough as hell. There's not many quarterbacks that could have took the beating that he did in Boulder over the last 2 years and got up every single time and continue to make big-time throws and continue to be great late in games. That takes a toll on you. And he was always his best as the game got to the close. His accuracy at all 3 levels, I think, is at the top of the class. I love the experience he's had. 4 years of starting, turning around the program at Jackson State, turning around the program at Colorado. And he's an underrated athlete. He really, really is. Some things that need to improve. Some things I worry about. He doesn't have an A-plus arm. He's not an elite athlete. He has to win with his brain. And as he said at the Combine, when I asked him, what is your favorite and what skill set are you most proud about? He said, my ability to win from the neck up, my mental. I love that as well. And that's something to think about on the other side of that coin. He does hold the ball too long. He likes to retreat from the pocket. Sometimes likes to back up when he needs to step up. I wonder what his ceiling is because of the lack of the game-changing traits. and I've kind of gotten away from this because I don't think this is to be true, but it is something out there. Is he bigger than the team? He did throw his offensive line under the bus. There's definitely some things to worry about there, but I think I'm totally fine with everything. He's shown as a person who he is. I love how committed he is to family and sticking up for his own players. I think that speaks volumes about who he is. I thought he got better as well from 2023 to 2024. You see that in the completion percentage going up, the yards going up, the touchdowns going up. And I love the way he takes care of the football. His decision-making and his ability to not put himself in a spot to turn the ball over is something I love about him. Under a 1.6 turnover-worthy play percentage throughout his entire college, or throughout his time in Boulder. I also love his ability to operate in a pocket when blitzed, to operate in a pocket when he is under pressure. Under pressure, he completed 54.7% of his passes, 12 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. And when he was blitzed, he carved you up, completing nearly 69% of his passes, 15 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Only 3 turnover-worthy plays when blitzed. What does that tell me? He can identify blitzes, and he knows what to do to beat blitzes when the ball is in his hands. To be honest with you, it seems like I'm a little bit higher on Shedeur Sanders than the rest of the NFL. I talked to Greg Cosell. We had that video out on the channel. He's not a big fan of him. Other people call him more of a distributor and a point guard, and he lacks game-changing traits, and he's going to need a team around him, and they call him a worse C.J. Stroud. I think he'd be a good enough quarterback in this league that can win you a lot of games. I think he's a good enough quarterback that you could be a legit Super Bowl contending team. But like a lot of other things, you need a team around him. You need an offensive line around him. You need an offensive coordinator and a head coach that's going to bring the best out of him. Could that be the New York Giants? It would be pretty sweet, though, if he was throwing to his best friend in Travis Hunter and he had Malik Neighbors. Travis Hunter and Shedeur, Giants. Not saying it's possible, but hey, we just saw a mock draft from the lead NFL draft insider at PFF. Say Shedeur is going to slide to round 2. If you want Hunter and Shedeur on the Giants, hit that thumbs up icon and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on IG. Same handle on both platforms at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there and let's go Big Blue.